All right, so we are going to make a baby hat today, which is going to be super cute. Now I got this pattern. It's a free pattern PDF that you download. This is from Coral and Co. Modern Sewing. It's a blog, but I will have the link to this pattern specifically in the description box. This actually is a pattern for two different baby hats. So we're going to be making just the plain baby hat that's rounded on the top, but there also is a pattern for one that has a little top knot on it. So maybe we'll cover that one in a different video. This one's just going to be the plain Jane baby hat. So this is going to be piece number 2 and number 4 from that pattern. And I'm making mine in size 0 to 3 months. We're going to be making it out of a knit material. So something that's got some stretch to it. This is a nice soft knit that I actually found on clearance at Hobby Lobby. This was only $3 for a yard of it. And I got a ton of stuff out of that yard of fabric. I got one of these hats, a little headband, I got a pair of booties, a bib, and I still have more of this material left. So yeah, check your local Hobby Lobby. It's a nice soft pilled one. But I think for the hat that we're going to make in this video, we're actually going to use this cute little pink floral knit material that I had. But we're going to go ahead and get into it. Some helpful tips for your machine. Whenever you're sewing with a knit material, you're going to want to use a stretch needle or a jersey needle, which is what I'm using. And I'm using a size 14. Whoops, sorry. A size 14 of the jersey needle for the thread that I have. And then when you're sewing knit, you're going to want to use a knit foot. It looks like this. It's got this little blue thing on the bottom, but this bar here goes up over your needle bar, and what it does is whenever your needle comes up, it releases the pressure on the foot so that your knit material doesn't get sucked down into the machine since it's stretchy. So these are a really good investment. I actually got this in a set of 52 different presser feet that I bought, and I can link it below if you would like also. But I ordered it off of Amazon. So we're going to get our machine set up with this foot, and then we're going to go into how to cut out your pattern. All right, so this pattern that we're using allows for a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So our first step is going to be in the top of the hat, there's this little V that gets cut out. You're going to match that up on both sides and pin it, and then we're gonna sew that with that 1/4 inch seam allowance, and we're gonna do that on all 4 pieces. You're also going to take your hat band, put it right sides together, match up those edges, and then we're also gonna sew that with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I'm going to use on my machine, don't know if you can see very well, but this little zigzag stitch where it's kind of slanted. The reason we're going to do a zigzag is because this is a knit material, and if you do a straight stitch and then try to stretch that knit material whenever you put the hat on, those stitches are going to pop and it's going to come undone. So if you use a zigzag stitch, it will stretch with your fabric. And I'm using the one that is a little bit slanted like this because it is small enough that it will look like a straight stitch, but you'll still get that stretch that you need. Okay, so here's what I meant about that angled zigzag stitch looking like a straight stitch, but it will still stretch. So our next step is we are going to take both sets of the 2 for the hat itself. You're going to put them right sides together, and you're going to pin them, and then we're going to sew all the way around with a 1/4 inch seam. So we're going to sew these 2 together and then the other 2, and then we'll come back. All right, so we have both of our sets for the hat sewn together and our band. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put them together so you can see right sides, wrong sides. We are going to flip one of these right side out. And then you're going to flip your band, you're going to fold it in half. so that it is right side out. And now for the seam that's on the band where it's sewn together, I like to put mine in the back of the hat. That way I can tell back from front. The pattern is the same on this one, so it doesn't really matter which one I pick to be back or front. But if you like it better on the side, you can match this seam up with the side seam that's on the hat and do it that way. I just like to put mine in the middle of the back to tell them apart. But what you're going to do is you are going to take this band, you'll pick which side you want to be front and back on your hat. I'm going to match up that seam with the center of the back, and the band should be right side up against the right side of this part of the hat. You're just going to tuck it in all the way around, and then you're going to take this part of the hat and you're going to match up the side seam with the side seam of the one that's inside out. That way it is also right sides against right sides of the band and the other part of the hat. You're going to make sure everything is evened up. You're going to pin it. And then we're going to stitch with that 1/4 inch seam again all the way around, but we're going to leave an opening of about 1 inch, and I'm going to leave my opening like right next to one of the side seams, but you can leave your opening wherever you want. If you're going to add a like brand tag or a size tag in this hat, I would suggest leaving your opening where the back of the hat is going to be, and put your tag in there whenever we're finished. But I'm going to go ahead and get this all tucked in and pinned and sewn, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like whenever we flip it right side out. All right, so we have left our little gap here of about 1 inch. So you have your 4 little layers here. We're just going to go between the first 2 of them. And we're going to start flipping the hat inside out. So just push it through with your index finger. When we flip it, it's going to look like this. It's going to look like you got a hat here and then a hat there. So you're going to pick which one of these you want for your outside and which one you want for your lining. I think I'm going to use this one for my outside. So then you're just going to tuck the other one in. And you'll be left with that. So there you can see my back seam. It's the back of my hat. Here's the front of my hat. And then where we left our little gap, right here, you can either make sure that it's flipped in on both sides and then take this to the machine and go over that little area. If you're putting your tag inside, you would tuck your tag inside the lining opening and then put that in and do a little stitch across there, or you can hand sew that closed with a ladder stitch. So either option for you for finishing that last little gap, but this is what your finished hat will look like. It's got a nice, clean, professional look to it. Got the lining, you can flip it inside out. There are no raw edges anywhere. But super duper cute, really quick and easy. You can make one of these in like probably 15 minutes or less once your pieces are cut. Actually, probably from start to finish, even cutting out the pieces, because it goes really quick, especially once you get the hang of it. These are great for donating like to children's hospitals or making for anybody that's in your family who's having a little baby. Quick and easy gifts. One of the easier sewing projects that you can do. I hope this was helpful in giving you a few sewing tips on these and showing you how to get a little bit cleaner, more professional finish on your final product.